Shalom Akim. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. And this is your brother Samak, coming with another lesson in transit through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, and bless to the brothers and the sisters. Alright. So, going into today's lesson, I want to talk about the importance of controlling your emotions, right? And realizing that life isn't always about being happy, at least not in this life, right? We'll have that time to come in the very near future, right, when we receive the kingdom. But as long as we live in the flawed world, as long as we live in a flawed world where we experience emotions and feelings, you're never going to be completely happy. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter about the possessions you have. You'll never be happy 24/7. All right, and it's not always about it. So there's no point in seeking happiness. All right. Happiness is nothing but an emotional state of mind. It's nothing but an emotional state of mind, and it's a temporary feeling at that. Just how we feel every other emotion, that's balance of life. We feel happiness, we feel sadness, we feel anger, we feel comfort, we feel calm, we feel agitated, annoyance, and etc. So realizing that you're not going to be happy all the time is the first step to obtaining peace. Now, one thing that you can experience at all times is peace and contentment. Those are feelings that you can feel 24/7 no matter what situation you're in. If you truly come to peace with the world and who you are and the things you have, you'll always have peace. Right? You'll always be content because you realize that it's not about where you are in life, it's about where you're going. And when you focus on the process or the journey and you enjoy the present, right? You're not too engulfed in the future and you're not too engulfed in the past. And you're not too engulfed in the present. That's why I have to have balance. And there's this new book I just picked up. It's called The Time Paradox. And I just started it, but just starting off, it talks about there's 3 stages to time, right? Or 3 emotional states of time, which you have the past, you have the present, and the future, right? And there was a specific word that he used, and you have to have a perfect balance of the 3 because you can't live, right? You can't completely exclude the past, where some people try to tell you, forget about the past, don't live in the past, right? You can't completely forget about the past. The past is also important because the past is kind of like a guide. The present is where you currently are, and the future is where you want to be. And when you have a perfect balance between, or a perfect synergy between the 3 of those things, that's when you'll see the most success, because 1, you use your past mistakes and failures as lessons. You use the present and enjoy the present. You enjoy the moment. You appreciate where you are, and you look at what you need to work on and improve on. And then the future, you use the future as a goalpost. And in that goalpost, that's where you strive to be. That's what you want to be, the man you want to become. And on this journey of self-development, is because that's really all the journey is about, right? This truth is all about growth and self-development, right? Which it will yield salvation at the end, which is the end goal. And it's a journey of self-development, because we once were upon a time where in the world and we were wicked. We were counted as heathen, Gentiles, foreigners, if you will. And when we came to the knowledge of this truth through the mercy and grace of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we had a second chance at life. We had a second chance at salvation. It was like a renewing of our spirit, right? And we now have to what? We have to purge and purify ourselves of that old man, which that old man is the man that was delighted in wickedness and everything that comes with that. Okay, adultery, fornication, right? Getting into other different gods, observing these false pagan holidays, eating abominable foods, not living life under any spiritual moral compass, okay? Doing whatever you want. So when you come to know this truth, you desire greatness. And in a world of filth, there is no greatness. Right? You're not gonna have that greatness. You're not gonna be able to live the life you want. And speaking for myself, I tell my lady this all the time, like, yo, like, she'll ask me questions like, I just want you to be, she'll say certain things, I just want you to be happy, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, listen, babe, like, I'm never going to be happy in Babylon, and it's okay. And I tell her, and that's okay, because I understand now that I'm not going to be happy, because once upon a time, I was, all my life rather, even more so when coming into the truth, it magnified, but all my life, I've sought happiness. I've sought freedom. That was always my biggest thing. I always wanted to be free. That's why I can't work a job forever. That's why I'm business minded. I'm working towards building a business that I don't have to physically work. That's why I don't want to be self-employed. I want to build a business where I can employ people and have a, whatever. Just to be able to buy time, right? Because I don't want to exchange time for money. I want to be able to exchange the money that I have for time to do more things, that I want to do. And I've always sought that, and even more so in the truth. But coming into the truth, realizing that this world is coming to an end, it actually kind of put me in a state of quote unquote depression, where because I couldn't have the things I wanted, because I couldn't be the way I wanted to be, it ate me alive. And it took a burden on me, man. It caused me to go down a path of complacency. It caused me to go down a path of not taking care of my temple, eating a bunch of sugar and junk processed foods, and not exercising, and really just ignoring myself, and losing myself, if you will. And as the scriptures say, with much wisdom comes much sorrow, but you can't let that sorrow overtake you, right? You have to, what, as you said, as the scriptures say, gird up your loins as a man and show yourself a man. So that's the beauty of practicing stoicism, because practicing stoicism, basically, it trains your mind to understand your emotions and understand that you're going to feel all these different emotions, and it's okay, and learn to enjoy the present and enjoy the journey that you're going down. If you're in the process of getting stronger physically, enjoy the process of you building up and lifting heavy weights and running further. If you're in the process of spiritual growth, enjoy the process of you learning new things, of you motherfuckers almost banged out. Enjoy the process of you learning new things and edifying brothers and sisters, and just enjoy the process of that, instead of just looking at the end goal, because that end goal is going to come, right? Which ultimately we are seeking, what? Salvation, which is ultimately euphoria, happiness, freedom, joy, and we don't have to feel all the negative emotions. But we should use those negative emotions now as fuel to better ourselves and learn to be more content. It's okay to desire better things. I am personally the type of man who enjoys the finer things of life, and once upon a time I used to feel bad about it. I used to feel like less of a spiritual man, if you will, because I like nice things, right? I like cars, I like jewelry, I like dressing nice, I like, if I go out to eat, I like to dine at fine establishments. That's just the type of guy I am, right? And I used to feel bad about it, but you know, I have a ruling mentality. I have a king-like mentality, man. So I think like a king, and I think like I want royalty, I want precious things. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we're gonna have that. But I don't let that that like become obsessive, and now my mind and eye is single on just getting money to earn possessions. No. I'm always gonna strive to be better as a man, right? Mind, body, and soul, right? And those things ultimately come with making more money. You know, I'm not gonna, I personally, I'm not the type of guy where I can just be okay with doing the same thing. Like, I can't just be okay with, you know, the job I work now. It's a means of paying my bills and giving me my daily bread while I work towards my business. Okay. And I personally, I can't be, I'm not the type of guy where I can be cool with that, regardless of the Lord's coming back or not. I don't know when the Lord's coming back. So I'm gonna grind, and I'm gonna establish and build something. And then when the Lord comes back, before I can acquire it, it's a win, because the Lord came back. If I get to acquire it before the Lord comes back, it's a win, because the Lord is going to come back regardless. So everybody's a little different, but it's that understanding of your emotions and realizing, like, okay, it's not about being happy. It's not about having joy. It's just about being at peace. Because you can be at peace with, being at peace doesn't mean you have to accept and do nothing about it. No, being at peace with whatever happens is being at peace with it, meaning it is what it is. If I can change it, I'm going to do something about it. If I can't change it, I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to just let it be, and I'm going to move on to the next thing, you know. So that's just what it is, you know. When you come into the truth, you have to become a master of your emotions. And it is indeed a journey. It is indeed a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Every brother should realize that the flaws that they have and the things that they can work on. And this is why it's so important to have brothers, like I did in my video yesterday, my lesson yesterday. The importance of having brothers is that when you have brothers around you, they can admonish you, right? Meaning they're building you up. They're going to let you know, hey brother, listen, I noticed that, you know, at camp when and this is speaking from personal experience. You know, hey brother, I noticed that, you know, at camp, you know, when we were edifying, a demon came up, or a demon walked by and said some slick shit, and it got you off your square, and now you started to throw insults back and, you know, kind of like deterred the spirit from what we were talking about onto the demon. Basically, you let her take your energy, you know. And, you know, those are things that brothers might not realize that they do, or they might not realize that it may be a wrong, but it's wrong, man. It's weak. All right, it's feminine. It's very feminine. To be a man and to be in your own world and to be on your purpose, and for somebody to come and to say something and it takes your attention off your focus and your purpose, and you deter over to them, you lost. You lost. They won, because their whole goal was to get in a reaction out of you, to get you out of your character, to prove that you ain't as holy as you say you are. You ain't no better than me. That's the goal. And when you feed into that, you prove them right. You prove them right, you know. So I strive to, it's not even a thing that I even have to work on. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've just always been like that, to where people don't faze me. I'm very emotionally detached from a lot of things. If it's not affecting me, I'm completely distant from it. You know, and it's a blessing and a curse, because sometimes there's things that I need to feel. You know, there's some things that I need to feel a way about, and I just don't, and I feel bad. You know what I mean? So, but you know, that was pretty much the point. You know, just wanted to talk about that. You know, Lord willing, you brothers and sisters edified. Maybe I could dive into it a little more in depth. Lord willing, some more points and topics and different things come to mind. But until next time, shalom.